Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, September 22nd. We're looking at Window Traders Market Profile of the ES and NQ. We have a lot to get to today as we're going to recap all these charts. First, I want to start off with I did a podcast with Aaron Corbs, Speculator Podcast. So I have it all over the place. I put it out on my Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can also go to Aaron's different sites, and he has it on there. Appreciate it if you watch it. Give it a nice like if you do like it, and then share it with friends and stuff or other people in the trading community. Really would appreciate it. I haven't listened to it yet. I'll listen to it probably after I do this video. So that's number one. Number two, this market, it's made it, at least for me, incredibly difficult when I'm very black and white at times when it comes to MGI, and I know I shouldn't be that way, especially when I say we have to respect what short-term traders can do, especially when I say that short-term traders are erratic and they'll change on a drop of a hat. And my goodness, did they do that today twice. Well, actually, more than twice. We'll go over it in a minute. Now, I had a good day today, and I had a decent week. I mean, overall, I made, today I made 7 in ES, only 43 in NQ. Made 14 points in ES. I made 162 in NQ. So obviously I've been trading NQ more, and that's taken away from my ES. And I'm fine with that. But as far as what transpired today, now, am I surprised? I came in and I told the room, if you watch my video this morning, I said if we take out the overnight high, then I think buyers are going to try to take back some of this poor structure. Well, we did that, and we did try all morning and early afternoon, and then just failed. We actually had 2 sets of single prints to the upside. Now, I was surprised by that. I said, I do not think we'll get a trend day up that holds. But it did hold for a while. Then we tried to go trend down twice. We had 2 small sets of single prints to the downside that failed. Now, I had a really good trade in K period because everybody was looking for the same thing to happen that happened the previous 2 days when when we spiked, when trend and everything else. I did not think that was going to happen today, and it didn't. Although what M did surprise me also, but we'll go over that in a second. Righty ends, actually righty probed late in the day, but very small. So righty ends with just a 10 wide POC. Okay. NQ ends by probing, but they didn't really, I'm not sure how much they probe by, so I don't know if I would use J's low, but other than that, it's the day's high and low. We end up with just the day's high and low, and then the price probe. I will use those lows because we got far enough away from it. Here's what's interesting over the last couple of days. We raised POC today, 8 wide, and look where volume POC stayed again, even though we probed down. Yesterday, now I'm in bigger increments, so it's changed. We raised volume POC late in the day. We did lower it, but even if I was to put this in ones, our price probe, not price probe, my goodness. My volume POC was up here. Look at this day, the day of when we really went down hard. Look where volume POC is. Look where the 10 wide TPO is. So those aren't things to ignore. Now that doesn't mean the market's not going to keep going down. But what it's trying to tell me is we were happy to do business at upper parts of these trading days, both volume-wise and TPO-wise, only to spike lower Wednesday, Thursday, and even today probe lower late in the day. Are these weak sellers pushing? Again, I'm not 100% sure. I really don't know. The bottom line is this: we're down now in all 3 time frames. I'm calling a monthly down now. So sellers are trying. When we do the video, you're going to see an incredibly visual level that SPY just broke late in the day today. It's around that 430 level. Now, one day doesn't make a market. It's not like we close below it, oh my God, it's over. No. But it is a level that if the bulls don't hold, we are going to see some more downward pain. But I don't want to ignore the fact that POCs and volume POCs have stayed up in the upper ends of the profiles with these spikes down. Not something to ignore, okay? Because it's just short-term plays that are doing this for now. So as far as my trading goes, I took I didn't do anything in A. My first two trades were in NQ. I took a long in B period to pop A's high, which worked out nicely. And then I took a long in C period to pop the overnight high, which worked out nicely. In ES, then I didn't do anything. I mean, the market was doing nothing. I did take a long in ES, originally in F, looking for an afternoon pullback, and I made 5 points on it. Now, that's the thing that kind of, where I talk about that black and white situation. I know these are weak buyers. I know that most of the bid was being provided by short covering and just momentum buyers. I know that. But when the sheet that we talk about is really skewed in favor of one side, I can't ignore it. We had the IB high. We had the overnight high. We raised POC. We raised value from lower to overlap into lower. So we were doing things that if we did pull back, I thought for sure we would probably get a wider POC. So I did well in F. But then in H, I tried it again, and I gave it up for a 6-point loss. So at that point, I'm now down 1 point. I did it again in I because I didn't know if we were going to go trend. I didn't expect to. So I made a couple of points in there. The best trade I made, though, was in K period, and I was long both ES and NQ. Once we couldn't once we couldn't hold the two trend days, single print, down to the downside in I period and J period, and we had the poor low, I'm like, these people are getting, I think, caught in a hole. I said, everybody's looking for the same scenario as the last 2 days. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I didn't play big. I was on 2 ES and I was on 3 NQ, but I ended up making 6 points in ES and 18 in NQ. I could have made a lot more. Did I expect them to really explode this much? Not really, but I wasn't surprised, and here's where I was surprised. Once we got 8 wide in ES, I thought for sure we would get 9 wide on the day, because that's the number I like to carry forward, 9 out of 13 time frames. Obviously, that didn't happen. More surprising is we went and probed to the downside. I really thought the low of the day would have been in once we did this. I thought M would get 9 wide, and we would just play. Maybe we would even lower volume POC, but we would just play in this area and not go anywhere near the low. So again, what is that telling me? It's telling us the sellers are still pretty aggressive, even though they're short-term sellers. Okay? Our volume's been above average the last 3 days. It hasn't been anything spectacular by any stretch, but it's been good. Inside week down paid handsomely. Outside day down paid handsomely this week. NQ took out both sides of yesterday's range. So NQ is technically back in a 2-day balance. We're not. ES and Righty are still down. NQ is balanced, and when we get to the charts, you're going to see how NQ is different. They're balanced on the monthly and daily. We're down on all of them. So I'll go over that in a second. As far as our destinations, price probe 430.55 to the upside, and then today's high of 430.410. The downside is 429.99, which is now a weekly low and a monthly low as of now. And then we have 428.87, which is a daily low, poor low, and then single prints 427.70 to 46 from June 8th, and then 425.82 is a weekly low. In ES, today's low is 57.25, and then we don't have anything to 43.50, which is a monthly low, and then the rollover gap gets filled at 43.25.50, and below that 94 is a daily low, poor low. For the upside, price probe 62.75, today's high of 99. I thought, to be honest, we were going to maybe get a P shape today, not hold singles, and then test 4,400 and maybe play there a couple of times today. Never happened. So even though I'm saying that the POCs, volume POC and TPOs have not been able to be lowered, still not getting any traction back to the upside. All right, let's go to the charts. I know this is long, but I hope this is this is good for you guys and gals to see. I hope it helps you in the bigger picture also now when we go over the charts. So here is IWM. We said last week, remember when IWM got close to its balance high and failed? Well, what's the next real destination? The bottom of the balance. Are we starting to head there? Well, we have an outside month down now, right? We have an outside month down. Now we have basically a triple bottom at the yearly low, right? Around the 162, 163 level. So I'm not saying we're going to get right to that, but we're only $14 from it, right? That's after being up as high as 198. So we've come in $22. Who's to say we can't come in another 10 or 12 to test this? So they are in a perpetual balance from May of 2022 to September of 2023. That's a long time, right? So that's a long balance there. And weekly, firmly down. They came out of a 5-week balance to the downside. And the daily, remember we've been talking about this. Remember they bounced around the 200-day moving average, and I've been saying for a bunch of days now, is IWM the canary in the coal mine? Well, they finally gave it up the last 4 days. Look at these. Look at these 2 days. Tuesday and Wednesday, it was like it's like somebody drowning, lifting their head above the water, and then they finally got sucked under. Well, that's what happened after Tuesday and Wednesday. Look at Thursday and Friday. So the monthly is balanced, the weekly is down, the daily is down, with the gap being our main focus. Now, NQ and triple Qs are definitely different from them and ES. We have 5 days to go in the month. NQ is still an inside month, and triple Q. So they're still balanced. It's a 3-month balance right now. We'll see if they come out of it to the downside at some point next week. We missed it by, not by a lot, but still by almost $3. So again, balance on the monthly right now. Inside month. Weekly, firmly down. And then the daily, also firmly down. Now, they're below the 20 and the 50, but they're way above the 200-day moving average, right? They're way above it. They're above it by $30. But for now, the daily is firmly down. Now here's the monthly low. That's pretty important. Look at that. Talk about a little reference point. We made a daily low back on August 18th and then rallied. Are we going to come out of this inside month possibly to the downside, or are we going to by the end of the month? But right now the daily is down. I'm sorry, take that back. The daily is balanced. We took out yesterday's high. So the monthly is balanced, the daily is a 2-day balance, the weekly is down. Now, let's go to SPY and ES. And again, for people who are newer looking at my videos, the reason I use the ETFs because they're just a lot cleaner than I think because of the rollovers and everything. So, after yesterday I said I'm calling the monthly still balanced. But after today, we've taken out the monthly last month's low now by over $3. I'm calling them a monthly down. We're one-time framing down 2 months. Okay? So that's the first time the monthly has been down since we came out of balance September of last year. Interesting, right? We were in balance. September went down. October went a little lower, but that's all we got. And then we went back to balance. Bull balance. Now we're down. So a year later, we're finally down again on the monthly. Interesting, right? Weekly, firmly down. Here's that level I'm talking about. We had basically a triple bottom here. Well, we just broke it with the late low today, 429.99. Does that mean, oh God, that's it, it's over? Of course not. But any real acceptance below this week's low and these 3 lows, you're going to get more acceleration to the downside. Where's your next real stop? Look, right around the 410 level. So for my money's worth on the weekly, because the monthly you can't really look at, right? The monthly's down. The next low on the monthly is 417. It's kind of the same thing for the weekly, but I still think we have a chance to hold this. Remains to be seen. So the monthly is down, the weekly is down, and the daily is firmly down also, with gap being our main focus. Look, I know this video is long. I hope it helps. I love doing this. I love educating. So again, come check us out. I'm also running a special till to the end of the month that you can read on my Instagram, Twitter, and all that. Offering it 3 months at $75 payable through Venmo only. You know, $75 to come spend 3 months with us. I think you're going to love what you find, because on days like today when the market's whipping back and forth the way it did, taking out both IBs, both overnights. Somebody did a sample in my room. It's a pretty big sample, 417 trading days. We only take out both sides of the IB and overnight the same day, only 3.5% of the time. Well, today was one of them. We have a great group of people. Come join us. Come check us out. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.